All right, get ready, because today we're diving deep into Juggerknaut Keys.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
This is the kind of cryptography that could totally change how we think about secure communication.
And it's really mind-blowing how Juggerknaut Keys actually pull it off.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Think about the usual ways we do things, like with the Diffie-Hellman key exchange.
Right, the classic method.
It all comes down to these complex calculations and that crucial exchange of keys.
And that's where things can get a little dicey, right?
Yeah, that exchange is like the weak link in the chain.
Makes sense.
But Juggerknaut Keys, they sidestep that entirely.
They do.
They use zero-knowledge technology to derive a symmetric key.
So no more sending those keys back and forth.
Nope, none of that.
That always felt a bit like passing a secret note in a crowded classroom hoping no one notices.
Exactly, a recipe for disaster.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's back up a bit.
Sure.
Our sources point to something called Juggerknaut Keys.
Yes.
This seems to be like the precursor to Juggerknaut Keys.
Right, Juggernaut came first.
And it looks like they first popped up in this messaging app called Smoke Messenger.
That's right, Smoke Messenger was like the testing ground for this new idea.
Interesting.
Juggerknaut Keys, with their zero-knowledge magic, they made symmetric password encryption possible.
So two people could basically set up encrypted messaging just by knowing a shared password.
Exactly, no need for that whole complex key exchange rigmarole.
Okay, I'm starting to see the elegance here, but help me understand how this is different from how we usually handle things.
So with Diffie-Hellman, the traditional approach, it's all asymmetric.
Okay, and that means?
Each side has two keys, a public one and a private one.
Right.
And they use some pretty heavy math to calculate a shared secret.
It works, but...
But that exchange of public keys, that's the potential weak point.
Got it. So Juggerknaut Keys bypass that entirely.
You got it. Juggernaut and its evolved form, Juggerly, they're all about derivation.
Derivation.
Both sides, if they know a shared secret like a password, can independently derive the same encryption key.
Without ever actually transmitting it.
Exactly. It's a game changer, a real revolution.
Okay, I need an analogy here. I think my brain is stuck in a loading screen right now.
All right, let's try this.
Get me with it.
Imagine two spies. Each of them has half of a map.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
On their own, those halves don't mean much.
Right, just fragments.
But when they combine their knowledge, without ever actually showing each other their map pieces.
They can figure out the hidden location.
Exactly. That's the beauty of derivative cryptography.
So with Juggernaut, the map pieces are the shared password and some clever math.
Right.
And that hidden location, that's the encryption key.
Bingo! No more risky exchanges out in the open.
Okay, now I'm starting to see why this is such a big deal.
It is. And this whole idea of deriving keys instead of exchanging them, it's popped up in other cryptographic tools too.
Oh, really? Like what?
Take the Socialist Millionaire Protocol, for example.
I've heard of that. Isn't that how two people can figure out if they have the same amount of money without actually revealing their wealth?
That's the one. It's all about proving, the same secret without spilling the beans.
So it uses a similar concept, but for different purpose.
Exactly. SMP passwords and Juggerknaut keys, they have different goals in mind.
So with SMP passwords, it's about verifying you share the same secret. But with Juggernaut, it takes things further, using that secret to create a whole new key for secure communication.
You nailed it. That's a key difference, so to speak.
Okay, now things are starting to click into place.
Good.
We've got Juggernaut Keys born in the world of Smoke Messenger, ditching the risky key exchange for this clever derivation process. It's a whole new way of thinking about encryption.
It really is. And while Juggernaut was a crucial first step, its evolution into Juggerly, that takes things to a whole new level of security and sophistication.
Now, hold on. You've piqued my curiosity. What makes Juggerly even better than Juggernaut? This is where things are getting really interesting.
You're not wrong about that. Remember how we talked about Juggernaut using that shared secret like a password?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, Juggerly takes things a step further.
Oh.
How so?
It adds another layer of security on top of it.
More security, always a good thing.
It does this by obfuscating that shared information.
Obfuscating. Sounds fancy.
It's like putting a secret code on top of your already secret password.
Okay, now you're really speaking my language. More secrets. But really, how does Juggerly actually do that?
It uses a technique called XORing.
XORing.
Yeah, think of it this way.
Okay.
You've got your shared secret, right?
Right.
and you've got this public piece of information that everyone knows.
Okay.
Juggerly combines these two things using XOR.
So it's like mixing them together in a special way.
Exactly. It's like a special blending process to create this disguised version of your secret.
So even if someone got their hands on this disguised information, they wouldn't be able to figure out the original shared secret.
You got it. It's like hiding a message within a message.
That's pretty clever.
And this extra layer of obfuscation, it makes Juggerly incredibly resilient to attacks.
Oh, that's good. Even if someone knew that public information, they wouldn't be able to reverse engineer it to uncover your original shared secret.
Wow, that's impressive.
It is pretty neat, huh?
Yeah, so with Juggerly, we get the convenience of symmetric keys,
Right?
the security of zero-knowledge proofs,
Mm-hmm.
and then this extra layer of obfuscation on top of it all.
That's right. A triple threat.
It's like a triple-layered security cake.
I like that analogy. A very tasty one.
This multi-layered approach, it's what makes Juggerly such a powerful tool for secure communication.
Absolutely. It's a game changer.
This is all incredibly fascinating, but I have to admit, it's a lot to take in.
It's a lot. I get it.
For someone who isn't a cryptography expert, what's the key takeaway here?
The main point to remember is that Juggerly keys, they represent a paradigm shift
A paradigm shift.
in how we think about secure communication.
Okay, I'm listening.
They get rid of the need to exchange keys,
That vulnerable step we talked about before.
the one that's present in all those traditional methods.
Right.
Instead, they let both parties derive the same key independently using that shared secret and some clever math.
So it's like, instead of passing notes in a crowded classroom, we're using a telepathic connection to establish a secure channel.
That's a great way to put it.
No notes, no interception, just pure cryptographic magic.
Exactly. And this magic, it has the potential to transform online security as we know it,
Wow.
paving the way for a future where communication is inherently more private and secure.
That sounds amazing, a digital utopia.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But let's be real, no technology is perfect.
True, there are always limitations.
Are there any potential downsides to Juggerly keys?
That's a good question.
One challenge is that reliance on a shared secret.
Right.
If that secret is compromised, the whole thing falls apart.
So it's crucial to choose a strong and memorable shared secret and to keep it truly secret.
Absolutely. User education and best practices around password management, they become even more critical when we're talking about this level of security.
That's a really good point.
It highlights the fact that even with incredible technology like this, we can't forget about the human element.
It seems that Juggerly keys, while incredibly promising, don't eliminate the need for responsible security practices on the part of the user.
Exact.
Technology can provide powerful tools,
It can.
but ultimately it's up to us, the users, to wield those tools wisely and responsibly.
Well said. It's a partnership between technology and human behavior.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, one example that comes to mind is Secure Drop.
Secure drop.
Yeah, it's this platform used by journalists and whistleblowers.
Oh, right. I've heard of that.
They use it to share sensitive information anonymously.
Makes sense.
And they've actually integrated Juggerly keys into their system.
Wow. So they're using it in the real world.
They are. It provides that extra layer of security for those who really need it.
Yeah, in those situations, secure communication can be a matter of life and death.
Absolutely. The stakes are high.
It's encouraging to see Juggerly keys being used to protect those who are most vulnerable.
It is, and it's not just limited to those high-stakes applications either.
Oh,
We're starting to see Juggerly keys pop up in more everyday tools too.
like what?
Secure messaging apps, file-sharing platforms, things like that.
So it's not just for spies and whistleblowers anymore.
Nope. Regular folks like you and me could be using it without even realizing it.
That's pretty cool.
As the technology matures and gets more widely adopted,
Yeah.
it'll likely become just a seamless part of our online experience.
That's the dream, isn't it?
Mhm.
Security that's just built in, protecting us without us even having to think about it.
That's the goal, effortless security.
Well, I've got to say, I'm really impressed with what I've learned about Juggerly keys today.
Me too. It's fascinating stuff.
It's a truly remarkable technology, and I'm excited to see how it shapes the future of online communication.
I think it has the potential to change things in a big way.
To our listeners, we hope you found this deep dive into the world of Juggerly keys as fascinating as we did.
It's a complex topic,
It is.
but it's one that has real implications for all of us.
As we wrap things up here,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
Go for it.
We've talked about the technical details,
We have.
the potential benefits, even some of the challenges.
Right.
But the big question is, will this technology live up to its promise?
That's the million-dollar question.
Will it become the seatbelts of the internet?
Some people think it could.
Time will tell, I suppose.
It will, but one thing's for sure, the quest for secure and private communication isn't going away.
That's true.
And innovations like Juggerknaut Keys, they're going to play a huge role in shaping the future of the digital world.
Well said. So as you continue your journey through the digital world,
Be safe out there.
remember to stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay secure.